And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to an edition of Dashtown. This is a podcast about the businesses built by and for the people of Fuquay-Varina. And we are privileged and pleasured to be joined today by Matthew Price, who is the founder or owner of Price Auctions and Estates, which is now York Auction Group, correct?
Right. Yep.
All right.
As we add more services, we also have to add more auctioneers and tag sale people and real estate folks into it. So we've kind of sort of migrate and consume as we go, so to speak. But yeah, we're all now a York Auction Group.
Well, I'm glad you could join me here virtually. We spoke sort of before the coronavirus and the pandemic about the idea for this podcast, and the concept was to get together in person, face to face, and talk about your business and highlight what it is that York Auction Group does. But I think that with the pandemic and the stay-at-home orders and everything that's gone on in the past few months, it's more important now than ever to get the message about small businesses and to highlight small businesses for the local community. So can you tell us a little bit about your business, what it is that you do and where you operate?
We primarily operate in North Carolina. We're licensed auctioneers first. And primarily what we do is we do estates. So say, for instance, if it goes into probate, we'll go and we'll provide services for those kinds of attorneys or those kinds of executors. And then the other thing, too, is sometimes they don't want to have a full-fledged auction, which is okay because an auction is really an event. So they'll want to have something that's more muted, such as an estate tag sale. And we do those as well, and we've had quite success doing both of those. And then we've had a lot of people who wanted a one-stop fits-all, sort of one-call type of organization where they can do both the personal property and also the real estate. So we auction the real estate, or we can sell it through traditional means, which is you put a sign out there, put it in the MLS, etc. So we really do a whole host of services for not just that, but for divorces, bankruptcies, and everything else like that. And a lot of times people say that we are the last ditch effort because they just get so flustered at doing it. And really what we want them to think about is that we're really not just doing that, but we're also doing advising and consulting as they're going through the entire process.
Now, I think that your service is going to be, a valuable service to many on regular circumstances. But with everything that's gone on, Matt, are you seeing an uptick in business? I hate to see people in a bad situation, but is this going to be something where your business is actually maybe busier as a result of everything that's going on with COVID and the coronavirus?
What we have been showing is that because the court system is really locked down as far as the probate cases are concerned, we're pretty much going to see a bottleneck as far as getting everything to closure. And they're going to have to do one of two things. One is adjust the North Carolina general statutes, or they're going to have to extend all of these out. But even if they extend them all out, there's still going to be a bottleneck. So we're starting to see more and more emails come in trying to feel out what we can do in order to help them alleviate the bottlenecks. And as you know, we've got, like Northgate Mall has reported, I think either today or yesterday, that they're going to be closing. So a lot of that also is going to feed into our business lines. And we're pretty much going to be absolutely slammed from when everything is lifted to probably spring of next year.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your background. You spoke to me about your grandparents taking you out to farm auctions as a kid. So you've been in this kind of as a lifelong hobby turned into a business?
Yeah, my grandfather used to be a cooperative dairy farmer up in Western New York for I think most of his life, and we would go to regular farm auctions in order to either buy or sell cows or pick up uh, new ones or rotate around stock or farm implements or something to that effect. And it kind of sort of bit me then that there's a guy up there who's talking really fast. Of course, me being 6, 7 years old, I didn't understand a lick of anything that the guy was saying. So it turned into I want to say it was a morbid curiosity. and the reason is because I just fell in love with what the guy was doing, and he was calling the bid so fast. And then 20 years after, I started going into information technology. And when I started getting into information technology, getting all the certificates and whatnot, all of a sudden came eBay. So I started doing a little bit of eBay, and I said, you know what, it'd be great if we could do an online auction where we're sitting here calling the bid, and people are at home clicking the button. And today you could do it. You have timed, you have simulcast, which is we're calling the bid and you're hitting the button, or you could just do a live online. So it really has gone from that 7-year-old kid listening to the guy who's the auctioneer to what kind of solutions can we do online for the same reason. So it's been a huge, how should I say, transitional, a huge transition over the years.
Well, I mean, I think the internet and technology has helped everything transition and come along. Are you doing more online or live in-person auctions now?
Along about
I say now with COVID, I'm sure you're doing more online, but on a normal basis.
Yeah, along about 10 years ago, we were doing some live auctions, and we started noticing that less and less people were going to those auctions. So we transitioned over to doing a live and online stuff. So what we are doing now is we'll take a live auction if it's pretty sizable, because there's no way that you could put everything online. And in today's COVID society, all of that is going to go online. So and we've literally adjusted our entire process. So it's no hands. We take a picture of it, put it online, and the only time it really gets touched is when somebody comes to pick it up. So a lot of the live stuff that we were doing, we're now doing online. Now, that's not to say that there are other auction companies out there that are still doing live. There are still that are still doing live, but primarily they have also gone to when we sell it, it's yours. We don't touch it. You pick it up type of situation, which is okay. My main concern with the COVID is that a lot of your people who are used to be, I have to have my hands touch it, won't get that opportunity to do so. So you have to be a little bit more diligent when you take the pictures and when you make the descriptions and stuff for the items.
So you spoke about the bottleneck and just getting things through processing, and obviously with the inability to put our hands on an item or come in and touch it and feel it, another challenge. What additional challenges are the current conditions and the quarantine and the stay-at-home presenting for your business?
More often than not, it is to try to communicate with the individual buyers and the individual sellers how the entire process will happen. So it's pretty much communication. We're in a situation now where we have not seen anything like this in our entire lifetimes. In fact, I think probably generations before have not seen this either. Communicating as to what has to happen and sticking to what has to happen is going to be foremost the most important thing that we wind up having to communicate to these people. And it's not for their safety only, it's for the people that we bring on in order to help us to deliver these services to them.
Sure.
So if we say that instead of having, here's a great example, instead of having people show up at 9 o'clock in the morning and we have 50 people there waiting, we have to schedule them through an online scheduling platform in order for them to be there at 9 a.m. and then the next guy has to come at 10. So a lot of it is trying to stretch out that which would normally be compressed, and that's your pickup stuff or your pickup and shipping. Another one of the challenges that we have is that we're fighting the Amazon effect with free shipping, and unfortunately there's not a single soul who's big as Amazon. So the free shipping is something that we hear quite a lot about as well. You know, Joe over here does free shipping. Well, yeah, Joe also does some other things in order to supplant that. So, but we're taking a look at what other challenges that we may have and do an analysis on that to see if we can streamline it or if we can pretty much just get over that and, you know, make it part of our plan. And, you know, if something is not, how should I say, that utilized, that we may just go ahead and abandon it and then pick up something new that adds value to both our sellers and our buyers.
I think with conditions like this, and any time there's crisis, you have to be inventive, you have to be innovative, you have to be able to adapt in order to survive. So I know in my business, I'm working through that, and I'm sure in yours and every other business that's hopefully going to make this through this is going to be forced to do that. You spoke of a 7-year-old boy who fell in love with this, who got bit. You still love your business? You still love what you do?
Oh, I still love it. It's a lot of work. In fact, a couple of the kids that come around go, "Why do you do this?" And it's like, because you're providing a service for somebody else. Plus, you're getting the satisfaction that when you have everything done and said and done and over with, they're coming to you and they're thanking you for doing something or doing something outside of the ordinary that they appreciate more than, you know, you just selling something of theirs.
Well, how about the local Fuquay-Varina community here? I know that you do operate across the state of North Carolina, but what does it mean for you to be part of this local community, and how do you feel it's a symbiotic relationship in that Fuquay-Varina has benefited your business and that you are a benefit to the people of Fuquay?
Well, primarily the people that I have relationships with here in Fuquay-Varina have been a lot of the veterans that we have. In fact, I have a venture crew out at the American Legion Post 116 here in Fuquay, and a lot of the services that I tap into in order to deliver a whole group. You know, so when somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I have this property that I need cleaned up," I can just pick up the phone and I can schedule that and get it taken care of. So a lot of the relationships that we have are really close-knit relationships here in Fuquay. The attorneys are great. We have really, you know, we've grown so much in the last several years, but we have not lost the small southern town attitude, where you sit on the front porch after a hard day and drink your sweet tea. And it's really fantastic that we haven't lost our identity in this growth that we've had. And that shows with the quality of the people who are here. And it also shows with the quality of the services that we can provide. Some people are saying, "Well, I know that you only do this, but what else?" Sometimes they don't even ask, "What else can you do?" Some of them is like, "Well, I'll go find this to do." And it's like, no. If you want to book a real estate deal through me, and you have to move to another state, I'll have my son go mow your yard. So it's really still a family-based community, even though we have two communities with the dash.
Yep. Well, I think that balance of growth and keeping that hometown feel certainly has been navigated delicately, and it has not been easy at times, dealing with the growth. While we appreciate the growth and those that find our community attractive and want to come to Fuquay-Varina, maintaining that feel, that tight-knit small town, go anywhere in town and run into people that you know and appreciate, has not been easy to maintain. But we do also appreciate that growth. So if somebody needs your services, has a property, has an estate that needs some auctions, or would be interested in finding out how they could participate in some of those auctions and maybe make bids on some of the items or some of the properties that you are auctioning, where can they find out more?
Well, the interesting thing is that I've been forced by all of my boys to come into the 21st century. So they can call me or text me, and I'd be happy to call them back or text them back or give them any information that they want at any time of night. So they can get a hold of me at my phone number, and I don't know if you want me to give you my phone number.
You're more than welcome to.
No, they can call or direct message me, text message me at 919-614-MATT. I didn't ask for the number. They just gave it to me at Verizon.
Hey, it worked out for you.
Yeah, I know. It's free advertising. So it's 919-614-6288. And I'll be happy to give them my email address if they want to send me pictures or anything like that and say, we don't know what this is. I'll be happy to do that for nothing, just because that's how I am. It's nothing about, if they want to know the values of something, I'll be happy to give it to them. But if they're really looking for something for insurance or something like that, then I'll advise them that they probably want to get a full-fledged appraisal of that particular item. So, but I'm open anytime during the day. And if they text after probably midnight, I'll probably text them back the next morning.
Sure. Matthew Price of York Auction Group, we appreciate you being here on the Dashtown podcast. And folks, if you need to be in touch or would like to find out more, feel free to give him a call up until midnight. He'll try to get back to you after midnight, maybe the next day. Matt, again, appreciate your time, and I look forward to having you here in person for a future edition of Dashtown.
It'd be awesome, Peter.